TBR fans. Welcome to another episode of Talking About Rock. I'm Rob Edwards from Buffalo, New York. Let's check in with Jerry Schmidt in Nashville. Jerry.
How you doing there, Rob?
Excellent, excellent. What's going on there? You going to see some shows this weekend or what's up?
Yes, Saturday night we have the Big Sad Wings and Iron Tribe show, the Judas Priest and Iron Maiden cover bands. The show that was postponed because of the Richie Faulkner misfortune there with the ruptured aorta. They had planned the show for the night before the actual Judas Priest concert here in Nashville, which didn't happen, of course. So the guys finally decided to play the Hard Rock Cafe on Saturday night this weekend.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, I'm glad they got that show going on for you then. This weekend, I'll be going to see, they have a Metallica tribute band coming to the stage, Metal Militia. We'll be checking them out Friday. And then Saturday, we have some friends of ours coming in from Rochester, Appetite for Voltage. They'll be playing at the Cove, and I'll be there checking that out.
Sounds good. You've seen those guys before, correct?
Oh, yeah. Excellent guys. Should be a great show. Yep.
Terrific. Well, we're talking to Don Carr tomorrow from the Iron Tribe band. So we'll get more about that show tomorrow.
All right, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, so great. So I just want to introduce today's guests for you. They are the nation's #1 Heart tribute band. Please welcome to the show, Kevin and Monique from Straight On. How's it going, folks?
Hey, we're doing
guys.
good. Hi, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks for being with us. We really appreciate it, really do. So we know you guys are busy and you've had, I think your shows are finally starting to wind down there. We had a little trouble getting a hold of you and stuff, and we missed you this past July, unfortunately, out in my neck of the woods. Hopefully we'll see in the future. But tell us a little about the band. What's the Straight On story? How did this come about?
Well, it kind of started with her. She had a little ad at a local music store, if you believe that. There's actually a brick and mortar store you can go to buy stuff.
A mom and pop one, even, not, Guitar Center.
Yeah, and she did this little tab on there, singer looking to start a Heart tribute band. I was like, well, I'm going to see if this girl can sing, because I was a huge Heart fan, but it's very difficult to find someone that can sing like Ann Wilson. So I just answered that, and we met up, and it's been great ever since.
Yeah.
Excellent. I think, Monique, you're self-taught, right?
Yeah, I am.
And you started out, would you won like a karaoke contest, or you started singing in high school? How'd they come about?
Yeah, honestly, actually, I really started singing from my mom. My mom's also a vocalist and grew up on, the awesome music of Heart, and sang with her, all throughout my childhood. And then as my love for music grew, I started experimenting a little bit and sang in school, some talent shows and things like that. And then of course, karaoke contests and things like that. And one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can start a Heart tribute band. So alas, a love story out of rock and roll, I guess.
That's excellent.
Do you have another female counterpart in the band?
We do, Karen.
Sisters?
Yeah, so Karen can't join us tonight, I don't think, and speak with us, unfortunately. She's the guitarist for the band, and I don't think she's been with you from the start, right? You had couple different folks in the band, I think, right?
Yeah, we had a few different gals. The first gal that had the position was Lori Davis, and she was awesome, wonderful lady. And then she decided to go do some things, that she wanted to go experiment with and stuff. And then we had another gal that joined in for a little while, Sarah. And then, then we got Karen, and Karen's just an awesome person.
Yeah, we lucked out with her.
Yeah, she's a real deal. She can sing, she can play guitar, and she's just a wonderful personality. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she's a great fit.
That's awesome. Yeah, sometimes that's the hardest thing to find. You go through different people in bands. They might be a great musician, but they don't kind of gel with everybody else, or maybe they're thinking they want to do other things, and this is just a stopover. I think this is what you both want. This is like it for you both, right?
Yeah. I mean, we enjoy doing it. I mean, we experiment with other things. Obviously, we have the Trans-Siberian Orchestra tribute band that we do, and that's a different part of ourselves that we experiment with. And we do write, we just don't really put it out there. Not yet anyway, but yeah, we're pretty content. We're pretty busy. Yeah. We kind of got in, I don't want to say a little over our heads, but it kind of grew, and we enjoy it. And we figure while we're both still kind of young, get out there and enjoy it for a little while, and you know, see where the road takes you kind of type
before
thing.
the arthritis sets in too
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. I see you guys have had a lot of shows, and at one of your shows there was a special moment for both of you, right? I saw some video that was out there for that, right?
Yeah.
You want to tell us about that a little bit, Kevin?
Oh, that was at the House of Blues in Cleveland. And I didn't tell anybody. The only person that knew was my daughter. And she was there. She was filming the whole thing with the camera. And I didn't tell the band or anything. And then I just had a little spot in the show where I'd like, you know, talk to the audience for a minute. And I was like, oh, man, I have a couple questions for you. And then I was like, I got one more question. And I went over and asked Monique if she'd like to get married.
Oh, nice.
And she said yes, so that worked out
that
good.
was good.
Oh, that's great.
That would have been bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a bad rock and roll story, right?
Yeah.
Instead, we have the perfect rock and roll story, right?
Well, yeah, we might have made a lot of money if we'd have wrote a song about it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
Right, yeah.
So Kevin, you've been wanting to play since you were super young, right? So what I read, you, like a lot of rest of us, you wanted to be in Kiss when you were young. You wanted to be Ace when you were little, right?
Oh, didn't we all?
Man. Yep. Yep. I remember, 1976, I had the old poster on the wall where they were like playing the drum and fife and their heads are bandaged, and I had older brothers and sisters, so everything that they listened to, I listened to. But yeah, Kiss was it, and I wanted to be Ace Frehley, and it just kind of grew from there, and then, really got the Zeppelin bite, and then of course, my other older sister, she loved Heart, and actually, we would have this laying around the house all the time.
Oh, I got that.
Yeah.
1977.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, all that old stuff, all the classic rock, that's all my favorite. Then of course, the 80s, got all the, the heavy metal shred stuff, and yeah, it's all good.
That's excellent. Yeah.
You guys just play exclusively the Northeast and the Great Lakes area there, or do you guys?
Yeah, pretty much.
For now.
Yeah, we're looking to branch out. So, but the past few years we've pretty much kind of tri-state sort of area, so we're looking really to start going down south and stuff like that a lot more.
Maybe get over to the coast a little bit more.
Cool. Yeah, I see you.
A lot happening here in Nashville and plenty of venues to play if you make it down here.
Oh, we would love to. That's one of our areas we want to definitely come down to. So
you can hook us up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a happening area out there. There's so much going on out in Nashville. Jerry keeps us informed on all the different things that are happening. It seems to be the new mecca for music now. You know what I mean? All different types of music is going on out there. So I was looking through some of the shows that you guys had done in the past, and you had done an awesome team up show. You had yourselves playing, and then there was a Pat Benatar tribute band.
Oh yeah,
that had to be a wonderful show. That's the perfect tie up, right?
Yeah, we love playing with them guys. They're very good friends of ours. And Michelle McDowell, there's nobody who can sing Pat Benatar, in my opinion, other than her. I've heard other people try, but she's got the pipes. So she's untouchable when it comes to that.
yeah, not easy stuff to do. And in the beginning, there wasn't a lot of women in rock and roll. You know what I mean? So we started out with like Janis Joplin, Joan Baez, and then when we got to the 70s and we had Pat Benatar and Heart and Stevie Nicks, it was so amazing. I don't think they got the due at the time that they deserved, but looks like finally today they're getting it now, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I think people are starting to really appreciate vocalists in general. Actually, him and I have had that conversation many years, even for the gentlemen, you think about the 70s and the 80s when the guys could actually sing,
It wasn't auto-tuned.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole nother animal, hear somebody really throw out some vocals and emotion, there's
Jay Buchanan.
Yeah, that Rival Sons. I don't know if you guys have heard of them guys, but wow, them guys are stellar.
I really like them. Yeah, they're very good. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's take a minute and pause and let's watch some video from you folks playing. This will be you guys doing Crazy On. This is Straight On covering Crazy On You from Heart. Okay, we're back talking about rock. This is Rob Edwards, and we have with us Kevin and Monique from Straight On.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Back again. So we're just talking about the 70s a little bit, and I kind of wanted to jump a little forward and jump to the 80s. So especially with Heart, they changed their style a lot from the 70s to the 80s. And from what I've read about that, I mean, I liked it. It was very cool, but they weren't too happy with it. They didn't want those stylistic changes. You guys have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I totally understand where they're coming from, you know, on both sides of the coin. You know, you got to make the money, you got to stay relevant to the times. You know, they're also talented in, you know, writing music. And honestly, I think, even with the 80s lineup, I would have to say the original Heart really was the ones that really were the ones who wrote, well, this.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
they had a certain vibe about them that was fitting for that time. And the magic that they created together was really special. I mean, that's what made them one of the greats, and still does. I mean, their music is still relevant. And I think once they got to the 80s, it was just a change. And a lot of that music was not written by them. And, the band was completely different. The musicianship is amazing. And of course, the girls and their vocals and stuff like that. But I mean, I like them both. Oh, yeah. I'm more of a 70s girl, but I do really appreciate, some of the vocal acrobatics for my part, with the 80s music and stuff. There was a lot of different things that they did, but
Cadan was still amazing no matter what.
Yeah, and so wasn't Nancy, but I think that they needed to do it, maybe, because it kept them, you hear Heart on the classic rock stations, you hear them on the pop rock stations. I mean, it made them relevant and to be able to change with the times. Maybe they would have stayed, the 70s Heart, maybe they wouldn't have, pushed forward all those years, so the record companies and the management, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think even though they didn't like the stylistic changes, I mean, there were definitely some great songs, and I think it made everyone take another look at them really as musicians and kind of check it out. I mean, I know I did. I know I went back through their catalog again and checked out some of their earlier stuff, and because you were hearing their songs on the radio all the time when that stuff was out. You know what I mean?
MTV.
Yeah. But we got the MTV bite going, and yeah, totally. So, and maybe, the people that may not have paid attention to them in the 70s, brought them into light, so. Sure.
Well, I think the song alone went to #1, so everybody was enjoying them. And that is definitely a powerful vocal track from Ann Wilson. So I thought the stuff from the 80s was very, very good.
Yeah, definitely. I think it gave everybody a second shot at looking at them, definitely. And I know they had a lot of tours going on from that. And then in the late 90s and the 2000s, things seemed to calm down for them. And then, a few years back, there were some issues in the band, some fighting going on, and we were so happy that all got cleared up, because, and they could come back out. I got to see them, on the 2019 tour, which was fabulous. They were just great. You know what I mean? Sometimes you go and see some of these older acts, and you're hoping that they still have it together. They're still going to bring the show, and you're kind of not going to be disappointed. Your idols aren't going to disappoint you and say, "Oh, I should have just listened to the record" or something.
Yeah.
They were fabulous. They were a fabulous show. Yeah.
They got it. They still got it.
And we're still hoping that we're going to see that reunion one of these days.
Yeah, the full original lineup. That would be really cool.
Roger Fisher.
Just one time.
Yeah. That'd be great.
That would be nice. It might be tough, though. Might be tough to get all of them in the same room again.
Oh, it would.
Yeah.
Although they did just do a thing. Ann Wilson's out on her, solo tour, and I believe it was like the Neptune Theater or something like that up in Seattle.
Yeah.
And Roger Fisher joined him on stage.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe
we're crossing the fingers.
The diehard Heart fans are crossing our fingers, and maybe something might be brewing there. I don't know. Who knows? But we can.
That's great.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll see them coming back up eventually in full force and coming back out. I'm sure. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're hoping.
Yeah. So Monique, you got to do some guest and backing vocals for some previous guests of ours, Rich Kozak from Mr. Speed. You did some studio work with them. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, that was a fun experience. I'd never been in a professional studio before. So like the Zoom interview, I'm doing some new things this year. And it was really great to work with Rich, and he's an awesome person. Wow. And he's got some pipes too. There's some other things I got to hear him do, and I was like,
super
wow.
Nice guy.
Which we've seen, cool. Which we've seen Mr. Speed before, and we were blown away by their performance, of course. But it's different when you're behind the scenes and kind of seeing the people work their things out. And it was a really cool experience. I was very grateful to be part of that.
Yeah, they are such an amazing tribute band. I really love seeing Mr. Speed. They're always spot on with everything. They do, and they're very painstaking what they do. For the interview, I actually donned some Kiss makeup, and I was watching their videos on how to do it because I'd never done it. So it was good. I got that little sneak. So.
So will you guys be doing much during the upcoming holidays as far as touring?
No, not during the holidays. We usually take a few months off because we focus on first snow. And then we usually gear back up in the beginning of the year. But yeah, not this year. We'll probably, I think our first show is what, February?
Mhm.
Yeah, we're
February
actually
6th,
doing something
7th.
new this year. This coming year, we're gonna do an all acoustic tribute show. And we're gonna just focus on a lot of the acoustic songs that Hurt had out there. And then we're gonna do some redos of the full electric rockin' songs and turn
Yeah.
them into acoustic.
I
So
think a lot of the
Oh, very
songs that
good.
we're doing that way is I don't think they've ever played them.
some of
live.
them, no. Yeah, but
so it'd be different for everybody.
So we've been wanting to do that for a long time. We just thought,
Mhm.
it's kind of different. Let's just do something, switch it up and,
Yeah.
experiment with that a little bit. Because some of those songs, they might not be the best fit for like a 2-hour, full on rock show,
Yeah.
because you got to do all the hits, of course. So sometimes you don't have room to do some of the ones that are just the ones people really want to hear, but maybe not in that scenario.
Because
So
they're very quiet, and people
kind of
just want to
relaxed, yeah.
get out there and rock, and they're like, time to go get a beer when we pull the acoustics
Yeah.
out.
Even if they love them, it just calms everything down. But yeah, we
Yeah.
really wanted to do something that was more like a dinner theater kind of
Yep.
type show and focus a lot on some of the songs like Treat Me Well and things like that,
Mhm.
that we don't really get to experiment with, on a full show. But yeah, we're really excited actually to do that.
Yeah, it
'Cause
should
We've
be
been
a lot
wanting
of
to do that
fun.
for a really long time. So
I bet that would go over very well.
We're hoping.
yeah, we're hoping.
Yeah.
It's an experiment.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. During your regular gigs, during your regular live shows, what would you say you get the best kind of feedback on there? Are there certain songs that really seems to stand out and people really, really, really get going and or is it varied all the time?
Mostly the hits are the ones they
Yeah,
really like, the
yeah.
Barracuda and
Yeah, everybody-
Crazy on You.
Everybody likes obviously the Barracuda, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean, every now and again, we always try when we pick our set list. When we choose our set list, we obviously go for, the hit songs. You have to do that, and we gotta make the people happy. But we're diehard Heart fans ourselves, and we have a lot of people that'll come out, that are like the real diehards. I mean, they've got every album, they've met the girls, and I mean, it's like okay, and they want to hear some of these deep cuts, and we'll pull out some of those. We did a few of them this year, and that is one of my favorite things
Yeah.
to watch is because we know who they are. And you see them out in the crowd and they just flip out because Heart doesn't even do some of these songs anymore live.
Mhm.
So, we bring them out and, we always talked about when we do the set lists and stuff like that, when we perform, we always want it to be in such a way where maybe like you guys were saying earlier, like the younger folks, maybe their appreciation for like live music and stuff isn't the same, or maybe some of these older bands, maybe they don't, I can't tell you how many 30-year-olds don't know who Heart is. I'm like, really?
Oh, yeah.
Barracuda Alone?
They're like, oh yeah, I played that on
Yeah.
a rock band or
Yeah,
something.
the rock band. And so I always think of it like this, if we can get somebody to maybe look at some of these old albums and say, wow, I forgot all about that song. Or I never
Mhm.
heard that one, but man, that's really cool. I don't know. I kind of feel like, that then we did our job,
yeah.
So
Right,
it's all
yeah.
about keeping the music alive too, for the original band also, so I think that's the benefit. I know we're kind of getting off topic here, but, for a tribute band in general, I mean, we're the people out there doing the music of the tribute bands. I think you're kind of helping support the other bands too, by maybe
Mhm.
keeping the music out there, maybe where the other people might not have heard it, or get them to re-listen to it again too.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I would definitely agree with you. I know when I was getting into music when I was younger, I would, hit on whatever album that came out, but then I would always go back and check out their earlier stuff. Where did it come
Yep.
from? What was their sound? How did they evolve? How did they change their look, their style? Did members change? You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
always wanted to see how it progressed and, how they kind of got to where they were. What did they do? What was their magic formula, right?
Yep.
So, and I know a lot of folks definitely do that, and they need to understand, like, yeah, going to a live show is such a total different experience.
Mhm.
Jerry and I talk about this a lot. When we were younger, we get to see a lot of live shows, right? We go to 4 or 5 concerts a summer, but
Mhm.
now it's super expensive because we have the streaming
Yeah.
thing, right? And there's no albums, physical album sales, right? So your artists aren't making any money on a product anymore, so they got to rely on the live shows, and
Mhm.
and that's why you have the cover bands. If you can't go and see these these artists, you maybe see one or two a summer because who can shell out the money, right?
Yeah.
But if you have an awesome number one, tribute band that you can go see, that's almost just as awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's why the tribute bands, are such a huge thing. I really do.
Yeah,
they
I
make
totally
people
agree.
feel
With that.
good.
What's that?
I said the tribute bands make people feel good. People
Definitely.
feel like they're watching the real thing. So
Definitely. It's definitely all about the show, and you folks, look the part on stage, you have some of the outfits, and the sound is really great. And you've got to play a couple times, I think, in House of Blues and stuff and out in Cleveland. And did you guys make it out to when Hart got inducted to the Hall of Fame? Did you make it out there?
No.
Oh.
I didn't get to do that.
We were
I'd love
pretty
to,
bummed.
yeah.
Well, I remember watching the video when this really got me when they did Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you got Robert Plant and Jimmy Page
Yeah.
sitting in the audience watching you do their song. I mean, wow.
And John
There's
Paul Jones.
yeah, and John Paul. There's nothing more iconic than that. How can you get a huger band watching you do
Right.
that?
Yeah.
It would have to be like the Beatles and you were doing like, Let It Be or something or whatever yesterday or something. But that had to be, oh my God, amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a
Sure,
goosebump. I mean,
yeah.
even for
Yeah.
people watching it, definitely like a goosebumps. I mean,
Oh,
I know
yeah.
I did. I mean, it almost makes you emotional watching it because you can imagine what, Hart was like when they saw that. Obviously, they weren't seeing that in real time, but when they came back and saw like that, a reaction to them performing that song, that they did that,
Yeah.
I mean, and for Zeppelin too, I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah.
I mean, that they got to see and they were so honored that they did that so well. I mean,
And
to bring them to
Jason-
tears.
and
I mean,
Jason
holy
on
cow.
drums,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was a
So-
beautiful moment. That was a beautiful rock
Yeah.
and roll moment.
Well, that
Yeah,
was-
just
that
the
was bad.
ultimate rock and roll moment. And we have some video of you folks doing Stairway. So we wanted to share that with the folks. So this is Straight On doing Stairway to Heaven. Check this out.
sounds good.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. When she's buying the stairway to heaven, there's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, 'cause you know sometimes words have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are escaping. rest, and my spirit is crying for leaving. In my thoughts, I have seen there's a smoke through the trees, and the voices of those who still looking. And it makes me wonder. Ooh, it makes me wonder. And it's whisper the same. If we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason. And a new day will dawn for those who still long, and the forest will echo with laughter. And it makes me wonder. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It makes me wonder if there's a bustle in your intro. Don't be alone. It's just a sprinkling for the queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Oh, yeah. Really, really, really makes me wonder. Oh, yeah. Really makes me wonder. Your head is humming and it won't go because you don't know. The piper is calling you to join him. Till any can you hear the ring, Lord, and your stairway lies on the west wind. and she's buying the stairway to heaven.
Hello, folks. We're back talking about rock with Straight Arm.
I just wanted to say that Zeppelin was obviously a big influence for Heart. They covered 3 songs off of Zeppelin 4, actually, along with Stairway. They did the Battle of Evermore and Roll on albums as well. So, yeah, definitely a big influence for those guys, for Ann and Nancy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I think Heart just has such a unique sound. I mean, and the vocals too are super unique. You know when she's singing, you know what I mean. But the guitar is super unique. It's a each guitar player always looks for their sound and their tone. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about, Kevin. Sometimes it takes years to find that just right. You got to fine tune it. You look for the right effect or the right amp or. But when she's playing, it's just you know exactly who you're listening to,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I tell you what, when Karen plays like the intro to Crazy on You and things like that, oh, I mean, it's amazing. Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, a lot of times we'll be standing there, off stage and stuff. I'll just be like, you can almost get like in a daze because you're like, this is so cool. So that girl can play.
Yeah. I was watching the video. Yeah, she has that emotion and that energy she puts right into it, and you get that feeling, like Jerry was saying. You want to get that feeling like you're seeing the real deal, and that's what she does, definitely.
And Karen actually, she was in a limo with the girls once, so she's a huge Heart fan.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, when she's up there playing, I mean, I think she's thinking the same way that I think, but I mean, I feel like if the girls were out there watching us, what would they say? Or any of the members of Heart, would they be proud of what we're doing? And I think everyone conveys that when we're up there performing. I mean, that
was kind of what we wanted to shoot for from the start. We wanted to feel that as if any members of the original Heart were there, they'd have been like, yeah, those guys are doing that pretty good,
Yeah, we do it in our own way too, to a degree, so. Yeah. So obviously I'm not a brunette. But Karen is. We flip the hair color.
I was gonna say something, but I figured nah.
Okay. I mean, once in a great while we get asked about them, and you believe it or not as much as you would think. So I think people, they don't. It's not always about the visual. I mean, in some aspects, like when you talk about like Kiss, like you have to have the makeup. Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to do that. There's no way you're getting around that. You have to do that part. For us, when we started the band, we never set out to be the dress up, tribute. We were more about the music, and how well we could put the music out there and really hone in on that. Now, like you guys were saying, I mean, we do try to add our own vibe that's Heart-esque, but still be ourselves in it. And I mean, we really just try to get the music as accurate, as possible.
Like she said, that's what we aimed for from the start. We were a tribute to the music of Heart, not the actual visualization.
Right.
But like she said, we put our own costumes together. I got my cool bell bottoms are like this big.
I made him some cool Jimmy Page like dragon bell bottoms. So.
That's terrific.
Excellent.
Homage there.
Yeah.
That is great. We've talked to several bands on Talking About Rock that have made their own costumes and their own clothing. So
absolutely.
It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it saves you a lot of money too, I would think, as well.
Well, not really.
I guess it depends on how elaborate you get, right?
Yeah, I'm a girl, so I mean, I don't even want to know how much money I've spent over the years.
I don't. Yeah, Kevin doesn't want to know how much money.
Yeah, probably not.
I go to Goodwill and buy jeans so we can cut them up to make bell bottoms.
Yeah. I almost went there. Actually, I did go there myself a couple weeks ago because I made an Ozzy outfit for Halloween, so I went and got a shirt. Yeah, so I hear what you're saying exactly.
And actually, a fun little fact: did you guys ever read the book from Hurt, The Kicking and Dreaming? If you haven't, pick that up. It's actually really good. I think that came out in the early 2000s or something like that, like 2009 or something. It was something like that. But anyways, it's really good, and it goes back to the Zeppelin thing. They talk a little bit about that, and you know how they were actually kind of called Little Led Zeppelin when they first started. So to go back into that, and they actually got into about how the girls would make their costumes. They would just make some different things, and they would just kind of tweak it out, and they'd go like
go to the thrift stores and,
so it's kind of funny, like some of the things you guys are bringing up, because it's actually some of the stuff that was in their book, ironically. So it's kind of cool.
Well, I heard a joke one
if you're a Heart
time
fan.
that somebody said Barracuda was the greatest Led Zeppelin song ever written.
Well, it's the same drum pattern as Achilles' Last Stand, so I can understand that. So
so I guess I find that Heart appeals to women and the female audience in quite a large way. Do you find that the women outnumber the guys at your shows? It just
no.
I never really thought about that actually, but
it's a good mix.
Yeah. I mean, I think
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does appeal to women because in a different way, because I think, you know, especially like, you know, our age range, you know, you wanted me, I wanted to be the girls, you know, I wanted to be a rock girl. I was like, yeah, them girls are cool. Look at what they're doing. You know, I want to do that, you know, so I'm sure that everyone, you know, that grew up listening to them really kind of thought the same way. They were doing something that was really kind of what men were doing. I mean, and still really it's dominated mainly by men. You know, you really don't, especially in rock and roll. I mean, there's not that many female.
And, you know, for being women, they had some pretty big cojones, you know, to do what they did.
And to survive all those years doing it, you know. That is true. I mean,
they knocked down some doors. So, you know, you got to hand it off, you know, whether you like the music or not, you got to hand it to them.
Yeah, and they were classy doing it. And I always respected that. They were very classy ladies. They still are, you know, I mean, they had a little sex appeal going on there, but they kept it intact, you know, which actually goes back to the 80s, you know, the stylization. They hated that. They hated the sexuality. I mean, it's like they knew they were women, you know, you know, it's obvious, but you know, they didn't like that part, but you know, it's part of the animal, you know, too, that the sex sells, you know. So.
Record sales, right?
Exactly.
It was a complete change, that's for sure. But I just found that the songs from a subject matter standpoint seem to have a lot of female themes to them.
Yeah.
And I always seem to see a lot of the ladies at the concerts. So I was just wondering if it was the same for Straight On when you guys played a show.
I'd probably say, when you really think about it, I'd say, I mean, probably really if I think about the crowd, a lot of the women really do. They know all the words to the songs, but I mean, we know a lot of men that know them too.
I'd say pretty equal. Really.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
The most awkward Heart song, though, for a woman to sing is the All I Want to Do. I just got to throw that out there for everybody. I don't make eye contact with anybody.
Yeah, I love those songs. I love those songs from the 80s, but it was hard as a guy singing those songs. But yeah, I love all those songs from the 80s. You know, I do.
Great song. So, Kevin, do you play anything other than guitars? Do you play mandolin? I know Hearts use mandolin in music.
Actually, there's a couple songs that we do. We done Dream of the Archer, where Karen and I both go back and forth, you know, with our mandolins. And we should bring that one back because that's a lot of fun. But yeah, we do mandolin. I can do bass, drums. Not good on the keys at all. I just kind of plunk, but and occasionally I have to sing. But mainly just guitar is really kind of what I stick to, just, you know.
And then really, actually, everybody in the band is really kind of multifaceted musically. I mean, our drummer, Drew, he's amazing. He can also do, you know, guitar. It's kind of funny because Kevin started out on drums and went to guitar, and Drew started out on guitar and then went to drums. So there's sometimes where we'll actually bring Drew out from behind the kit where maybe you don't need the drums, like Ring Them Bells when we do that cover, and he'll play the guitar. So it's kind of a fun switcheroo, you know, but yeah. it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the whole band is great. I mean, Jerry Ollinger, our bassist, he plays all kinds of stuff too.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, and that dude is a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast on bass. He really is.
Ron
And-
Abrahamson on the
Yeah.
keyboard. That guy's amazing as well. I mean, the whole band is they're really good at what
Yeah.
they do.
And the best part that I'd have to say, even with the band and stuff, above the music part, we're all like a little family. I mean, we really actually, when we're upstage and we're playing, we're playing and we really are having a great time. We enjoy our time together, and we're very blessed to have such a good group of people. I mean,
They're good folks.
Yeah.
Oh,
I miss
yeah.
them, actually. When we don't get to
I
see them
know.
for a while, it's like, man, my friends.
I know, it stinks.
When you guys play, is it usually just you straight on, or do you guys have an opening act?
We usually have an opening act. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because our shows are pretty much only 2 hours. So if they want a 4-hour night, they'll have to bring in another band.
Right. Yeah.
Now it's also looking through your schedule there. I saw you got to play with another friend of mine. He plays in the Fleetwood Mac Experience, Matt Hook.
Oh,
Yeah.
Matt. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Matt and
Yeah,
Stacy,
Matt
we
and
love
Stacey,
those
yeah, we
guys.
do.
They're awesome.
Yeah, they're actually become very good friends
Yep.
as well. We really enjoy hanging out with them. They're cool people.
Yeah. We were hoping to bring them on.
What they do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were hoping to bring them on the show, but I don't think that's going to happen for a while. So we'll have to see what happens with that.
Actually, the last time we went to the Rock Hall, we went with
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, they came down here, and we went to the Rock Hall with
Yeah.
them.
That was cool. That was a good trip.
Cool.
Now, you
cool.
guys also said you did a Trans-Siberian Orchestra cover band as well, tribute.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess
that
that's
one-
going to be firing up here pretty soon, huh?
Yeah, we started rehearsals. Our first shows at the end of this month. We got like half the band is new this year.
Yeah.
So, we're trying to work everything into that, but it'll be a good show. We've done that for, when did we start? 2008? I think?
Yeah, and it's just evolved. Kind of really started out as more of like a Christmas show.
Yeah.
Just more of an eclectic Christmas, and then it's really about 3 years ago, we really kind of honed it back into more of like the TSO, kind of vibe where,
Yeah.
we wear the full costumes and everything with that. So
You got the full sound, lights,
Mhm.
audio.
no
Wow.
pyro,
No pyro. I
no
won't do the
pyro, no lifts. We're not doing that.
Well, those guys are pretty progressive, so
Mhm.
that's got to get pretty heavy out there, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's you probably know, most of the core band is the band Sabotage, and I was a big fan of those guys back in the 80s, into the 90s. They changed, after, the one dude died there, Chris. But fantastic band. And it actually, the Christmas Eve Sarajevo was actually on a Sabotage album before they were TSO. So you could kind of hear the beginning of it before that band already formed. And they just evolved from there. And it really is sad that, the founder, Paul O'Neill, passed,
Yeah.
because that guy was a genius.
Definitely a rare gift in the
Yeah,
world.
he was amazing. But we're glad that they're still going. And we just started doing it just because same thing we did with the Heart. We love the band. And a lot of times, people can't afford to
Yeah.
go see a show like that. So we bring it down to where you can take your family, your whole family for like $100. You can go to a show and have
At a nice theater.
yeah, the big lights and the video production and everything,
It
Oh,
really
that's
is something wants to
great.
take their kids. It's a nice first concert experience, which we've had a lot of
Yeah.
that over the years when we've done it, where, because sometimes you don't know how kids are going to act, they might be too much for them seeing some of
Yeah.
this stuff, but it's kind of more, we're like TSO when they kind of started out,
Mhm.
so before Hallmark got a hold of them.
Well, you got Hallmark money.
right.
Yeah, but and we always tell people, please come out and see us, but if you get the chance to go see TSO, I mean, definitely go, because that
That is amazing.
that's an experience.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a once in a lifetime kind of show
Yeah.
experience, as
It
far
is,
as I'm
it is
concerned.
great.
Yeah, I've seen them before. Yeah.
Yeah, that's on my bucket list to see them, definitely.
Oh my gosh, you haven't seen them yet?
Yeah.
No,
You
yeah,
gotta do
myself,
it.
no.
Yeah, you'll
Do
love it.
Yeah, you'll be
But-
blown away.
But if you don't, you can come see us.
Yeah.
Well, we Well, yeah, we so hope you folks will come back out here. You know, can you give us some dates of stuff that's going on with you with either Trans-Siberian or any straight on dates coming up, or is that going to be a little while?
Well, yeah, right now we're focusing on, the TSO, the first snow band, November 27th in Lorraine, the Lorraine Palace Theater. December 4th will be at the Robbins Theater in Warren, Ohio. And then December 18th will be at the Alliance Lincoln Theater in Maslin, Ohio. And then kicking off the 2022, is it February 4th or 6th?
It's February 6th. We're doing that acoustic show that we were telling you guys about at the Music Box in Cleveland. That'll be our first time at that venue, because normally, like you said, we were normally at the House of Blues, but they're still kind of a little bit behind with the COVID, catching up from the COVID stuff from being shut down. But we'll probably be back there. I'm gonna guess probably in the fall at the House of Blues for the regular.
They can bring us in,
for the regular electric show. And then after that we have the amphitheaters. We're starting to book for those in the summer, and of course, whatever comes up in between there. So but yeah, we're excited. So hopefully we'll be back up, near your area too. So
yeah, we'll come find you.
we can get on again, and talk to you a little bit. But we're really excited. Things are getting back to some kind of normal, so getting out and playing, and you don't realize how much you like you were saying, like, miss the music when it's not there. I mean, it's just so weird when it was kind of quiet, you know? Because
like you kind of take it for granted that it's always going to be there, but then when it's gone, you're like, wow.
Wow. That was our thoughts exactly behind this. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't want people to, start taking advantage of bands. They still need to make some cash. They still need to play these live shows. If you want this music to stick around, you need to go out and support these folks and do that.
Absolutely. And the venues, that's another thing. I mean, you can do it. You can go out and you can support a venue. You can buy a ticket, because I mean, especially a lot of these theaters and stuff, I mean, they're historical buildings, and people don't really realize that either. Without that live entertainment plays,
that money
music
goes in for restorations and upkeep, so we're totally okay with all that.
So there's a lot that goes into that, so you would definitely want to support, your local music and stuff. Now for us, fortunately, we have regular daytime jobs. We don't tour full time, not yet, maybe one day, but I mean, he's a machinist, I'm a graphic designer, and the rest of the band, they all got regular jobs, and we do the 9 to 5, and so fortunately, we had that, but I feel really bad for the touring industry that, really did get hit with not being able to work. I mean, that was a big one there. You don't realize it, people, again, they take it for granted, and even with them folks, you always think, you're going to be able to go to a show, you're going to be able to go to a concert, you're going to be, you don't realize that would, whoever would have thought in our lifetime that would have been
it's
down.
weird.
We didn't want to see it change into something where it's like the only way you see live stuff is if you're streaming on your TV or something like that. That's not the experience.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. You know what I mean?
It's not at all.
No
matter how loud you turn it up, it's not.
It's not. I mean, and I know we're gonna have to be probably finishing up, but we brought up Rival Sons. I mean, that's probably one of our top modern bands right now.
Band.
I mean,
I love those guys.
Them guys are good. And I remember we went to a show, the first one, we were up at a place called the Grog Shop up in Cleveland, a small little hole in the wall kind of type of little bar. And we were right on the side of the stage. And these guys just came off a tour with Black Sabbath, we were like, oh, this is cool. We're right here. I mean, you guys, the keyboard player was like this.
Yeah, he was right there.
Yeah, and it was
I was
so
like, give
cool.
him a hug.
And then the singer, he was coming over, and I was like, this is like the coolest day ever. But oh my God, the vibe in that room was so freaking incredible. I have never felt anything like that in my life from watching a band. I mean, I had goosebumps. And if you guys do you guys know who Rival Sons is?
I've heard of them.
Yeah, check them out. They're the modern classic rock. I mean, if Zeppelin, Bad Company, and Aerosmith had a baby, they're so eclectic.
They're good.
Not all their music sounds exactly the same. It's kind of like Heart, really. I mean, they can do some soft stuff, and then they come in and they just rock your face off. But Goosebumps stuff, that guy has some pipes. Like
James Buchanan, I think is amazing.
And there's one song that they do, it's called Jordan.
Oh yeah.
And I don't care how many times I've heard that song.
She balls every time.
Every time. And I don't do that, a lot with singers and stuff, but that guy there.
In the middle of a crowd of 1,000 people, she starts crying.
My bad. It's kind of beautiful. I'm like, every time this guy kissed me. But yeah, that's a good band. But I mean, and just the energy in the room. I think that's what not just the band, it's when people are feeling good and the band together, feels good and everybody's kind of like in this big mesh of just good vibes. Yeah. I mean, oh my gosh, there's nothing like it.
We were talking a little bit about that with Billy Sheehan. Yeah, just music itself. You know what I mean? It's just the power of music and to bring those type of experiences and that type of emotions to people. You know, if it touches a chord with you or something with you, life, that's a great song. That's great music.
Exactly. Yep. That's what it's meant. It's the universal language, you know, and it really, really, really is.
That's like even, you know, when we're doing, you know, the heart songs and stuff, I mean, they're not our songs, but we try to convey them to people to where they'll feel that emotion the same way that we felt it when we first heard it, you know.
I mean,
a lot of times it does.
And for me, when I sing the songs, I mean, I no pun intended, but maybe I try to put my heart in it, you know. I mean,
absolutely,
you know, and but you know, it may not be the same thought process maybe that happened when the song was being written, but I try to find some scenario that makes it mean something to me and project it out, you know.
And you can tell.
Yeah,
I mean, you can tell, you know, when the band's on fire and we're doing what we want to do up there, and everyone feels that energy.
Yeah, I love seeing people in their faces. It's the best.
It's great.
Awesome. Well, we so hope you'll come back out to, you know, to the Buffalo area again. I know Jerry would love to see you guys out in the Nashville area doing some shows, you know. Jerry, if you can, if you got any ideas out there, I'm sure they'd be interested, you know.
Oh yeah. All right. Lead, the Mercy Lounge, Basement East, and Bowie's, the big four, in my opinion.
All right.
To the rock concert nightclubs.
Nice.
Excellent. Cool. Great. Well, thank you both so much for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time and, you know, talking about the band, talking about Heart. It's been awesome. I know we've been trying to do this for a little while. I'm glad we were able to finally connect and spend some time together. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And if any of you folks out there want to hear more from us, please feel free to email us at talkingaboutrock@gmail.com. Please like us on Facebook and Instagram. And as always, check out our YouTube videos and subscribe. Thank you very much. Folks, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
All right, have a good night.
Good chat. You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye now.